Greetings, Eric back on the Naturopath. Thanks for coming back. Another week, more questions, same old, same old. Lots of different questions coming through on YouTube, so thank you for all those kind comments also. And of course we get the occasional silly person, doing something really dumb like "you suck" or something like that, so don't need people like that. Right, question: why should you stay away from cheap Candida supplements? Or why should you be cautious of purchasing a Candida supplement that's been put together by someone who's got no knowledge of Candida? Now, how can I make a dumb statement like that, a bold statement, a gutsy statement, all right, like that? I spend a lot of time looking at products, a lot of time. I probably spend more time looking at formulations and supplements than a lot of you guys would looking at Facebook or Instagram or all that kind of stuff. I don't know what you look at, but I don't really look at a lot of that kind of stuff. I really look at formulation, so how a product is put together. Okay, so I look at the ratios also of antimicrobials to antimicrobials. I look at the quality of the raw materials used in this formulation. If a formulation just says garlic extract, it usually means they've got an El Cheapo garlic powder they've used in there, not much different than you would buy down at the Asian shop, garlic powder. And a lot of these garlic powders, okay, actually come from China. Now, there's nothing wrong with China, okay? There's a lot of awesome Chinese products out there. In fact, a lot of things, some of the best things in the world are made in China. But there's also a lot of deception and trickery, okay, in that country, a lot of it. There are very, very lax laws in that country in terms of food quality and QC or quality control. We know that, okay? Everybody knows that. So some products are good and some are crap, and some are actually dangerous. They could contain toxic compounds in them. But the garlic powder, okay, a lot of garlic, if you don't believe me, just go to Google and Google Chinese garlic, okay? A lot of Chinese garlic contains heavy metals. It contains lead, arsenic, cadmium. It's a well-known fact. A lot of prisoners in Chinese prison camps, have to peel the garlic with their teeth when their fingernails fall out. I've seen videos, it's disgusting. I've heard stories from patients with Chinese relations. These are known facts, okay? So if you're actually buying an El Cheapo supplement just with a plain garlic powder in it, I'm not going to be there with a safety net, all right? When you buy a product, look very carefully at this product. Okay, look at the colors, look at the labels, try and get a feel for the company, try and dig up a bit of information on who put the supplement together. I've just spent half an hour on Amazon looking at supplements and about another hour on iHerb this morning trawling through looking at Candida supplements and SIBO supplements. A typical example is I found one product. I'm not going to name this product. Now the formulation was exactly the same in all three cases. Okay, one product sold for $23.95, one sold for $38.99, and the other one sold for $66 US. But guess what? All three formulations were the same. Different labels, same formulation. So many people just buy generic formulations, slap a label on there and say Candida product. Okay, they pump up a website, they put all these pictures of nice smiling people on there saying, and making all these dumb claims. Those are the sort of people you need to be careful of, right? They haven't really got an interest in helping people. They've got an interest in helping their bank account, but that's probably where it stops, all right? They've likely never ever seen a patient. They're not a formulator, they're just a business person who's probably got 5 or 6 other online businesses all going at the same time, selling roof racks for cars or flea collars for poodles or goodness knows what people sell. But I'm just saying, be careful. A formulator is a person who designs a product. A clinician is someone who sees patients who take products. So when you deal with someone like me who's a formulator and a clinician, you're dealing with someone who puts a product together based on a lot of people who've taken products. And formulated clinicians tend to work out what works and what doesn't work in a clinical setting. We're looking at through different lenses than people are who purely make products for business, all right? There's a big distinction there. There's only a handful of formulator clinicians I personally know, only a handful, and several of these are my own personal friends. And I'm not going to mention names, so I know some key people in the industry, but these are totally different people. These are people who spent many thousands of hours working with patients and formulations. They've designed some of the world's best dietary supplements. There are several formulas I know of that are absolutely ace, and they were designed not by formulators, but by clinician formulators, okay? And that's the difference. So just be careful what you buy, because we don't know what you're getting, basically, all right? Be careful. That's all I wanted to say. Thanks for tuning in.